You standing at the top of your mat in equal standing posture, we're going to transition into a side to side flow to warm up the side body from hip to armpit. So bring your hands to your waist, toe heel step your feet to the width of your hips, and then lifting the arms out at shoulder height, anchor your shoulders to tailbone. Arching to the right side, bring your right hand in front of your right waist, left arm beside the ear, and then inhale up. Exhale left, right arm beside ear. Inhale center. Sweeping to the right on your exhale, stretch a bit more deeply, and then in breath neutral. Exhale left side a little further. Inhale neutral. So one more time, arch well to the right. Pull yourself up, keep the tailbone anchoring to the earth. Exhale left. Inhale up. And then dropping back into equal standing, hands to waist, toe heel step your feet together. Okay, centers of the feet are approximately parallel, and then helpful to find that re-anchor of the pelvis, lower belly up and tailbone down. So keep your attention from your knees to your navel, front body lifting, and then we'll inhale arms overhead for half moon. Interlace your first 3 fingers, and with an exhale, begin shifting your hips left as your spine arches right. So your armpits and the front of your waist should face the wall you're looking at perfectly, as if you had pressed yourself right up against that surface so as not to twist your hips or your upper body. And breathing deeply, feel how the inhalations encourage you to reach through your crown and the exhales to plant you. And we'll draw back up to center with an inhale and then over to the left side. So the hips push right as the spine arches left. And then much in the same way, as we inhale from our hips up to our crown, we continue to get taller, lengthening the spine. Every time we exhale, we root ourselves back from the core of our hips down into the foundation of our feet. Inhale, lift yourself back up to neutral, and then drawing your hands in towards your heart. Get a little taller, bend your knees, sit down into the hips, bringing your left elbow outside of your right knee. As you press your palms strongly together, draw the shoulder blades and the elbows down toward the back of your mat, while the crown of your head radiates forward. Your legs are strong here. Push into your feet so as not to compromise the knees. One more exhale, deepening the twist to its fullest extent comfortably. With an inhale, fall forward, straighten the knees to whatever extent feels good, hanging from your hips. Savor the inhalation, lengthening your spine, softening your face and your toes. Melt. Exhale. And we're going to go all the way up. So ride the inhalation into the sky, lifting your arms high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Get a little taller. Bend your knees, sitting into the hips, right elbow outside of left knee now. So really focus on turning your belly as your hips drop lower than your heart. Relax your face and jaw as your eyes settle calmly on the ceiling. Breathe into your low back for 3. Keep the face relaxed for 2. And remember, it's an exhale that completes the posture. Fall forward, drop the head, neck totally releases. So savor the next inhale, keep the webbing of the toes soft as you fill the vertebra between the spine to lengthen. Melt in, look toward your belly button. Softening slightly through the back of the knees, round your spine up, scooping the belly, bone by bone. Arms fall by your sides, equal standing. And then circling the hands to the hips, take those feet back out to hip width. So your hands should be on your hips beneath your waistband, helping you to push the buttocks and the sacrum down into the earth. Firm your thighs, really pushing the leg bones back as you lift your heart with an inhale, eyes up to the ceiling. The back of your neck should be long, so we're only going to bring the gaze behind us as far as we can do so while feeling we have space between the skull and the shoulder blades. Keep those legs alive, just a couple more breathings, taking the inhalations well into the top of the chest. And then with back bends, it's an inhale that's going to lift us up out of the pose, bolstering the spine as we rise, hands to hips. Exhale, we'll interlace the fingers behind us. So soften your knees, sinking into the hips slightly. Melt forward, dropping the heart below the waist, and then shake out your head a little yes, a little no. No tension in the cervical spine. So next breath, draw the arm bones up toward the ceiling as you lift your wrists off of the hips. Only working the hips toward the ceiling as far as you're comfortable. And we're going to get not only that simultaneous stretch through the hamstrings, but also through the shoulders. So breathe deliberately into any of those spots that feel restricted. The neck and face are still soft. And releasing the hands first to the floor. Lengthen your spine, turn your toes out 45 degrees as we move into Malasana, our squatting position. Now, if the knees are sensitive at all, please take a block or a couple books and place them beneath your hips. And by doing so, allowing that support for your hips, it'll take a lot of the pressure out of your knees, but you'll still find some gentle opening through the hips. And of course, you'll be able to carry on with us into our twist. So for those of us that are using the blocks, okay, we're going to take the left forearm out to the side. So your elbow is going to push against the inside of the knee as your palm connects with your foot. Right hand rests on right thigh, so you can therefore turn through the belly comfortably. If you're not using the blocks, the left palm will instead press onto the floor as the right arm reaches around behind, letting the fingertips rest on a block or the floor if that's available to you. As your left arm presses your left inner thigh, draw the shoulder blade down, keeping the neck open and reminding you to maintain that tall spine as the tummy turns you. And eyes are just slightly higher than the horizon. With an inhale, come back to center, take your hands to your heart and get tall for a moment. Now, as before, if you're on your blocks, place the right hand on your foot. If you're sinking all the way down into the hips, right hand on the floor, but we have the arm inside the knee. And from that point of contact, turning as the left hand reaches for a block or the mat. So use your tummy to twist you. As you breathe, opening into your hips, trying to literally breathe down to the soles of your feet, feeling yourself pressed equally through both feet, right and left alike. And don't worry if your heels are not making contact with the floor here, but do try to feel the heels are reaching. So back to center, hands to heart, get tall with an inhale. Exhale, straightening your legs as you turn your feet parallel, melt out of your hips. Okay, keep the knees bent as you need to accommodate your hamstrings as we either grab our ankles or our big toes with the index and middle finger. So the palms should face one another, lengthen, and then widening the elbows out to the sides, begin to fold forward. So we're not tugging ourselves into the posture by any means. Instead, as you hold to your ankles or your toes, this can help you to draw your shoulder blades away from your ears, sliding them into the waist. Keep the neck and the face soft as we take a few more breaths down the backs of our legs. One more exhalation, and then halfway lift, hands to hips. Stay here for the exhale. Microbend your knees a little, and then one full inhale, rise up to top. Take your hands to the sacrum, roll back for just a micro back bend, and then equal standing. Feeling yourself saturated in your breath.